Hey guys, what's up? Eddie Aho here with KissAnalog.com. Today we have Itech in the lab, and I unboxed it, sitting right here. So I just want to show you. It comes in these big, thick, double-walled cardboard boxes. You know, one in the other one. Itech Electronics, high-quality instrument, and you know what? They are high quality. All right, trying to put that back in there. It also comes packed in this foam on both ends, you know, and an anti-static bag. And it comes with the calibration certificate and a little pamphlet saying where to get your manuals. So this way people are saving trees these days, right? It's good with me. A lot of us like electronic anyway, right? So, USB cable, power cable, okay? So, it's an electronic load. You know, back in the day, we'd call them dynamic loads or had all kinds of different names for them. But nowadays, I think electronic load's the thing. And we're going to peel off this label on the display too. Now, I've got an electronic load that looks just like this one. Almost. They put these fancy little caps on them, which I guess you have to turn these off to take them off. But I think what this is meant to do is that you put a cable up in here, and then you're not allowing anybody to plug in there. And, you know, probably these things are actually professional devices made for automated testing. So you can hook up, God, I think 60 units, some crazy number of units, because... And the way they do it is a little different than the old way, where you have to have a whole bunch of switches, Ethernet switches. With these, you hook an Ethernet switch to one of these, and then one of these can drive, I think, 8 or 16, maybe it's 16 other units. So it saves on Ethernet switches. So anyway, for automated testing, they're pretty brilliant as far as that goes. But yeah, they are made for a rack mount, right? So you can put ears on them. They've got the little, you know, places back here where you can put in the little ears to help hold them into a case. And you've got USB port, and you got a couple ports back here and sticker on the AC. There's a sticker on the AC plug I'm going to take off, and then there's a current monitoring BNC connector back there. Show you a close-up of that. But anyway, so these are really nice, really easy, intuitive to use. But this one is kind of an upgrade from that one, I think. Now this one has, it says it has the constant resistance LED setup. So maybe this one has more things than I thought it did. It is a plus, IT8512 plus, up to 300 watts. This one's the IT8511G plus. So the G, I think, added some things to this. Now, I'm going to read off the different... Well, you know, I'm just looking at this. Sorry. I'll read off all the functions it does. But I'm just looking at this, and maybe it's just because it's up close, but the blue text seems to be brighter here. But looking up there, it looks pretty bright there, too. So I think it's just because it's up by my face. But anyway, big old terminals. Now these electronic loads, they're not inexpensive like the Kunk in there. These things cost a little bit more, but you know what? If you compare them to the name brand stuff, which if you look at the name brand, I'm not going to point out which one, but I'm pretty sure it looks like they're labeling them white, or these guys are white labeling them for one of those guys, and they're charging like, I think it's, well, it's more than 2 times more. It's almost 3 times more, I think. But anyway, so these guys are making really good stuff, and I've got the Itech here, which is just the 300 watt version of this. This one's the G version, which I'm going to talk to you about what that does. But then I have a matrix, and I have a programmable AC power source for my Itech, and you've seen me using this on my power amplifier testing and other DC power and my switching power supply tests. So I've used that a number of times, And I think, oh yeah, I have another Itech DC power supply up there, that single unit right above the Kunkin. So yeah, Itech, they've been, I keep on calling them IT Tech because their part numbers start off with IT, but they're called Itech, okay? So guys, I had to jump in to do this because it just came, but I am getting ready to do this ZA3 amplifier test. Compare it to the A07 Max that I've been testing. So I can't wait to test this Fosse, see how it compares. But I wanted to do this because it came, and I wanted to get out of the box and start using that. But you know, these active loads or electronic loads, you can set them up for constant current, right? So you just say I want 5 amps, it's going to pull 5 amps. You can set it for constant wattage. I want 10 watts, it's going to pull 10 watts. Constant voltage, okay. Constant resistance. Well, this one also has, here, let me read off some of the other features it does. Now, both these electronic loads can also be used for testing batteries. So there's a battery mode in here, and you know, just about any electronic load you can just drain a battery, right? But you have to watch the voltage and make sure that you don't drain below that voltage. So they have different shutoffs, like either capacity, maybe you just want to run it down to a certain capacity, so you can say, you know, run this log for this capacity, or you can say, hey, discharge down to 11 volts or 12 volts or something like that and shut off. Now, the other thing I want to point out is this one's rated for 150 volts, 30 amps, okay? That one is too, but it's rated for 150 watts, and that was 300. So you can only do combinations of that not to exceed 150 watts, okay? So voltage up to 150 volts, but then you could only do, you know, 1 amp to get 150 watts, right? So, yeah, you have to be careful about how you set it up. So there's actually a little button here. You hit the shift and you hit this battery button, and that's what puts you in battery mode. So you can do those things for battery. So it's set up specifically for this. Now this G version, this 8511G Plus, it also comes with, all right, and also, by the way, these have those fluorescent displays. I really like them. They're nice displays. Okay, I've got this film on there, which I'll take the film off so we can see a little bit better. You're kind of far away too, but if I can get a hold of this stuff. Whoops, I'm going to pull this knob off, I think. All right, here, let me zoom in so you can kind of see that display. Now, in person, they look great. They're not overly bright, okay? If anything, I would like them just a touch brighter. It'd be neat, and I'm gonna have to look in the menus to see if there is a way, but it'd be cool if there's a way to go in and set up the menu so that you could change the brightness of the display. But yeah, they might have added it to this one, but I didn't see it before, so I'll escape out of that, and then let me hit the battery functions. So range 30 amps, so you can set your range, and you can, anyway, I won't go through this. I'm going to go through this another one. This is more just kind of a box opening, just kind of let you know what this thing does. All right, so this one up here has the, well, it has 4 modes: constant current, constant voltage, constant watt, constant resistance, just like this one. But then they both also have the constant resistance LED. So that one actually has 5 modes. And I think they only, you know, I think the Plus added that LED mode. So you can test LED type power. So now here's the thing is, this guy has that, but it also added a couple more. It has constant resistance plus constant current. So that's interesting to me, because I'm going to have to, when I do the, you know, the full review of this and I show you the functions, I'll have to see how I can show you that, because constant resistance and constant current at the same time. And then it also has constant voltage and constant current at the same time. So yeah, that's interesting to me. That almost sounds like constant watts, but it's got to be different. And then it has constant resistance dash LED, which that one does as well. So they have several series. There's the A plus, there's the G plus here. There's just the regular straight series. So you got to be careful which one you're getting. Just look at the features. But yeah, this one came with these caps. I don't think I got the caps in the box on that one. So this one just came installed, and I didn't take them off, so I don't think I got them with that. But that must be a new feature. This one also has 8 fast charging modes. Okay, it's 8 fast charging communication protocols. This is using the QC protocols and the PE protocols. So, you know, with the new USB-Cs, or well, not just Cs, but with the new USB charging methods, it'll negotiate higher powers up to 100 watts or plus. I think these go up to 100 watts. So it goes up to PD 3.0. Okay. It also has the FS. It also has the FCP and SCP support. So, but the QC, it goes up to 2 and 3.0. Okay. And so the QC is a Qualcomm standard. I wasn't really familiar with that one. But yeah, I think it's for smartphones mostly. But yeah, I'm not really, I'm going to tell you guys more about those features, and I'll try to display that too when I do the review. Okay. So the dynamic mode of this, the speed of this is like 20 kilohertz. So you can do like electronic, you know, step functions at 20 kilohertz rate, which is pretty fast, right? And the other really cool feature on this is the display, which I started to say when I turned this on, is the display shows volts and amps, but it'll also show, I'll have to see where it is again. I don't want to waste your time, which I'm doing already. I'm just really curious. But it'll also show ripple voltage, okay? So your ripple voltage on top of your DC voltage. And I think it has a bandwidth of, I think it's 300 kilohertz for that. Yeah, so it's 300 kilohertz for that, okay? All right, guys, I'm going to zoom in on this so you can see it turn on and that. Now, the display, you can see from here, in person, it's plenty bright. It's not overly bright. Sometimes they almost seem like they're going to burn out the display because they're so bright. The Matrix is a little bit brighter. I actually like the little bit brighter display, but a lot of these displays around here are more on the level of this. They're a little bit dimmer, you know, except for that Kaiwitz over there, of course. These are those fluorescent displays, which are, I think, are really nice. But here, just turn that on. Told me what BIOS it was. So there it is. Okay, so guys, some of the neat features they've added to this G Plus is it'll read voltage up here, and these measurements up here, man, there's 4 digits, okay, on the amps, and there's 2, 3, 4, 5 digits on the voltage. So you get really good resolution on the display, but the unit itself has really good resolution. You know, I'll go over all the specs when I do the full review on this, but right now I just kind of want to do a box opening and kind of present what this is and what it does. But yeah, so that was one of the features it added, okay? The other thing the G feature added was it has these fast charging protocols, the QC protocols and the PE protocols. You know, these new protocols they use with your USB or USB-C type connections. You know, it'll negotiate and charge at a higher mode. I think these protocols go up to 100 watts. So it goes up to PD 3.0 and it goes up to, where is it? The QC 3.0 too. So QC 2.0 and 3.0 and PE plus, PE 2.0 plus, and okay, then USB PD 2.0. Oh, okay. And then it has the USB PD 3.0. Oh, yeah. So the PE and the PD are different protocols. It also talks about the FCP and SCP, which, you know, I'm not familiar with those. So I'm I'll look into those, give you guys information on that when I review this. But the measurement resolution is 0.1 millivolt and 0.1 milliamp. So pretty nice resolution. The dynamic mode of this goes up to 20 kilohertz, okay? So that's pretty fast. And I think this one does as well. It might be 10 kilohertz, but I think it goes to 20K. But that's how fast you can cycle, you know, loads on and off. So pretty good. Now, I think I already mentioned that they both do the battery function, right? So you can both discharge batteries. But that fast charge mode was to, you know, to test these fast charge modes on these new chargers. But also the little chargers themselves, it'll test for those too, okay? There's some kind of mode in there for that, so we'll look at that and see how that works. Now, one thing they talk about is there's a short circuit mode where you can push it to short circuits, and they both have that feature as well. Now, both of these units also have this list function where you can just say, oh, I want 5 amps, okay, go to 10 amps, go to 20 amps, and go for this long and then change, and go this long and then change. Now guys, when you're doing testing on switching power supplies, one of the most difficult tests to do is to go, say, full load or close to full load and then go to zero. Going to zero is always a tough one because the inductors, the transformers and everything, they just go empty because you want ripple current through your magnetics. And when you go to zero load, so that's a kind of a tough thing to do, okay? And then go from zero back to a high load. Or sometimes any load. So that's always a good test to do. But yeah, you can do something like that on that list function. You can go from zero up to half load maybe, from half load to full load, and then work your way back down. And you know, you can just, or you can have something in your list where once you go up, you go all the way down, and then you go all the way up. So you can just make up your tests. So that's what the list testing's great for. But yeah, the built-in voltage, the ripple voltage, it also does ripple current measurements up to 300 kilohertz bandwidth. So that's pretty amazing actually. So that saves you. I mean, I'm really curious about how that works. So we'll test some of the power supplies I have around here, and we'll see how they perform on this. Okay. Maybe we'll test some of these audio power supplies, see how they perform. So yeah, let me know what you guys like to see in the testing, and we'll set that up. Now, in the battery mode, if I didn't mention that before, just wanted to point out, like, the reason it has a battery mode is because you can have it stop charging once it hits a certain voltage, or you can say discharge a certain amount of energy and then stop. So I might have mentioned that, but anyway, yeah, there's a bunch of different tests you can do with these things. I was just trying to think. You know, the main tests are constant current, constant voltage, constant wattage, constant resistance, right? But then it has the constant resistance dash LED, so it can test those kind of LED power supplies, and that unit has it as well, which is kind of funny. I think the plus version of this gives you that. I think that's one of the things it gives you. Now this one added a couple, which guys, I've used electronic loads for a long time, and I haven't seen these two functions before, so I'm like, what are these? So when I review this, do the full review, I'll be sure to show each one of these functions, but I'm also going to show these two new ones, CR plus CC. So constant resistance plus constant current. And then constant voltage plus constant current. So it's got those two modes plus the LED one. So it has 7 modes altogether, which is pretty cool. And then 8 of those fast charging modes I was talking about. So, man, pretty impressive. So you can cascode 16 of these, it says. So yeah, those Ethernet switches, if you're doing automated testing, you can do a bunch of these with fewer Ethernet switches, because one switch going to this cascades down to 16 units. That's pretty amazing. Another thing this thing says it has is current monitoring function without expensive current probe. Easy to realize current waveform monitoring, 0 to 10 volts. That's something we're gonna have to test, okay? So Guys, this is a really cool unit. 2 thumbs up to Itech for sending this to me. Really appreciate that. I mean, I'm getting some really high-end equipment in here for free just to do reviews for you guys. And you know what? If I see something negative on these, I'll point it out. The one thing I point out is the display. I'd like to see a little bit brighter display. I'd really like to see a way where maybe you go into mode and use this dial to adjust the brightness where you like it. That'd be really sweet. And with all the functionality these things do, you know what? And it might be my bad. Maybe I need to read the document. And guys, I actually tried to download the manual, but I had a problem. I had a hiccup. My password wasn't working on the Itech website for some reason. So we'll resolve that tomorrow probably. They sent me a code, but that didn't work either. So there's got to be something going on. But anyway, we'll get that. So then I can read the manual and I can tell you these things. And maybe there is a way to set that up, but I didn't find it just going through the menu. They are very intuitive to use. If you've used one before, yeah, you can get yourself around these things fairly easy. So without the manual, so that's why I haven't bothered getting the manual yet. But then I thought, oh man, I need to figure out that display, and then some of these other modes, and also just to show you the spec page. So I'll get it for those reasons. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think of this. Let me know what tests you'd like to see me use this for, and as well as this one, the 300 watt one. Man, I might take off these because sitting here at the bench, I actually like to use the banana jacks, the front-facing banana jacks. I think these things are great for permanent type setups or where you have leads stuck in permanently, and maybe that's what I should do, is stick some leads in and come off with some alligator clips or banana jacks or something. Maybe that, but then they'd be hanging off my bench. Anyway, I'm just talking to myself here. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and man, again, 2 big thumbs up to Itech. So really appreciate their gear, and wow, I'm really happy to have this. You know what, guys? Just to throw a little note, if you're still here, I think what I wanted was the higher voltage one, the 500 volt one or 800. They've got a couple higher voltage ones, and I think they're going to send me that out. But then, you know, some time goes by and stuff. Then I think they sent an email and said, hey, we don't have that, but we have this new one, this G. And I'm like, oh, that sounds awesome. And so I'm like, yeah, send me that. But man, now I hate to ask them, but I really would like the higher voltage one. So when I do my PFC converter designs, that 400 volt, 380, 400 volt output, it'd be nice to be able to use an electronic load to test those, right? So I don't have that yet. And I gotta say, I really, guys, this AC power supply from Itech is awesome. It's an IT7321. And by the way, I have affiliate links down below. I'm not sure if I get any affiliate credit with these guys or not. Some of the links I do. So, and you know, I don't mind. I mean, they sent me this for free, right? I want to support them and have you guys, and it helps you guys too to find good instruments. So that's really what I started doing, all the reviews, and I'm like, hey, I've got so much old equipment, now I'm starting to update some of my stuff. So that's one bonus I have on the channel. So anyway, yeah, it's been really cool having, because my old AC power supply, I think I've shown it to you guys before. I have a bunch of Variacs, but I have an AC power supply. I'm looking around for it. I've got a couple of them. I'm going to start selling all this old equipment I have, but man, yeah, these guys have helped me update my bench, so kudos to Itech and actually Matrix too, and Uni-T as well. I got to give shout outs to all these guys. The Junetech generator, I like that, and you know, Uni-T's been great. I've got some more things from Uni-T I got to show you, but man, I'll tell you what, Itech stuff is, I think it's top notch as far as I can tell. In using it, the equipment, it's been top notch. It's been as good as any other equipment I've used in labs to do the similar kind of stuff. So I don't mind giving them a big old 2 thumbs up. All right, again, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.